Now we totally control. We own, in the true sense, we own the Hormuz Strait, and we only allow boats to come in if we want them to come in. No boats are coming in for it. We haven't had one boat come in since we've been there for Iran, and what it means is hundreds of millions of dollars every single day they lose. So I think we're doing very well there.
President Trump telling our colleague Alexis McAdams that the U.S. has full control of the Strait of Hormuz. Let's bring in former Air Force intelligence officer Jake Sotiriades and former Trump ambassador at large and counterterrorism coordinator Nathan Sales. Gentlemen, welcome to both of you.
Thanks, Mike.
I want to play another clip from Alexis's interview with President Trump today, and I'll get you to break it down.
We're doing it in a very professional manner. We did it with Venezuela a little bit differently. We could go in. I mean, if they hit, we would hit back 100 times harder.
What if it's right before the midterms? Do you care?
Well, it could be. But, people are looking at gasoline prices. That's all they're looking at. They like the fact that I'm stopping this lunatic nation from having an atomic bomb.
Ambassador, how do you respond to these latest comments from President Trump?
Well, I think the president is spot on when he talks about the economic impact to Iran of our blockade. They're losing $435 million a day, and they can't survive that forever. Our economy is the strongest in the world. Theirs is not. And so that imbalance, I think, creates an opportunity here. It's clear that diplomacy has run its course. The Iranians are not taking these talks seriously. They're never going to agree to a deal that would satisfy our requirements. We don't want to go back to war. So what's the third course? Economic pressure. We keep up the pressure, we weaken the regime, that puts us in a stronger position going forward.
All right, so squeeze the heck out of their economy. Here's President Trump on the Strait of Hormuz today.
Pretty soon I'll be declaring the Hormuz Strait a territory of the United States. We're really doing a great job. Our military is unbelievable. The blockade is unstoppable. It's a wall of steel. The blockade is a wall of steel.
Jake, what's your assessment of the president's latest comments on the conflict with Iran?
Well, Mike, I think the president's clearly having some fun with the crowd there with that comment. And I mean, he's already got the Gulf of America. So I think if you really break it down, there is, on a serious note, the best argument the United States can make is that the Strait of Hormuz is an international waterway. So the fact that no nation has a right to own or control that unilaterally is really the case that the president is making here. That is America's argument, and this is the argument that Iran cannot unilaterally control the Strait of Hormuz or charge tolls or fees or influence over this area. And the problem that we have now is that even though the United States has superior military capability in every aspect, you're still seeing the Iranians with drones, with asymmetric means, threaten any commercial ship. And that uncertainty, the concerns that ship owners have, that insurance companies have, that is what is preventing them from using that waterway. And that is what the Iranians exactly are hoping to do, is to continue to sow that uncertainty.
Picking up on that point, here's some analysis from General Jack Keane.
What they are doing, it's less about control, and it's more about influencing shipbuilders. Through intimidation and coercion, there's still a significant number of ship owners and ship captains, obviously, who are in the region, who do not want to transit the straits because of the threats from Iran. And that threat is real.
Jake, as you study this, is that what you're seeing as well?
I think General Keene's right here, Mike. And I think we have a paradox of sorts, because Iran undoubtedly is much weaker militarily than it was 6 months ago due to the campaign that's been executed by the United States and Israel. But a weaker Iran, ironically, may be more dangerous, because a weaker regime may be more willing to take extreme measures, use more asymmetric means to try to close down the strait, to try to widen the conflict, to attack U.S. allies in the region. And so this is the time where, if we look at this uneasy period where we're not necessarily at a negotiation phase yet, everything is still up in the air, the Iranians are looking at the clock and they're looking at the midterm elections, and they know that if they can drag this out, if they can sow uncertainty, if they can drive energy prices up, that they're hoping that the president's party will pay for that at the polls, and that is their strategy.
Then there's Pakistan working on regional peace. Deputy Prime Minister, Foreign Minister appreciated the positive trajectory in Pakistan-U.S. relations and underscored the importance of dialogue and diplomacy for lasting peace. He emphasized that the implementation of the Islamabad Memorandum of Understanding of 18 June in letter and spirit is the only way forward. Ambassador, as our diplomat on set, how do you respond?
Talk to the Iranians. The Iranians have been very clear since these talks started back in April with the ceasefire that they're not serious about negotiations. They're not serious about giving up their nuclear weapon ambitions. They're not serious about reopening the strait according to international law with freedom of transit without trying to charge tolls. So the diplomacy is basically what it always is for the Iranian regime, a way to buy time. It's a smokescreen that they can use to mask their regional ambitions, to mask their nuclear program, and to mask their attempts to coerce and hold hostage international shipping. We got to go through the motions of diplomacy, but the way you make diplomacy effective is through the threat of military force or, as we're talking about here, the threat of economic coercion. That's how you get good outcomes at the negotiating table.
Literally crossing the wire right now. Iran's foreign minister says Tehran has not decided to resume talks with the U.S. and they're talking with the Pakistanis, but it's not a negotiation. So there you go.
Here we go again.